In the Intro to Conventional Insecticides video, we discussed how the active ingredients work and the attributes that make a formulation suitable for misting. In this video, we're going to take the next step and talk about the formulations and their labels. We will first touch on the range of labeled formulations and their characteristics. Next, we'll acquaint you with the misting directions on the label of one of the most popular formulations and discuss the importance of understanding and adhering strictly to the labels. In the U.S., there are only a few conventional formulations that are labeled for use in automated residential misting systems. To review from the insecticides intro video, each of the labeled formulations contain either natural pyrethrins or permethrin as their primary active ingredient. They are synergized with PBO, they are water-based rather than hydrocarbon-based, and the formulation includes a good emulsification system that allows the active ingredients to stay well dispersed in water. Finally, they don't burn plants and are compatible with plastics found in the equipment and the properties where they are installed. You can visit www.MistAway.com for a complete list of labeled formulations. Some of the formulations have pyrethrins as their primary active. Some have permethrin. Some, with identical concentrations of actives and synergist, look completely different from one another due to differences in their emulsification systems. What they all share is a label with language that explicitly provides for their use in automated misting systems. This is important. Remember, the label is the law. It is extremely important that you only use insecticides that are labeled for use in automated misting systems and that you comply strictly with the label language, and never use an insecticide that states on the label, "not for use in outdoor residential misting systems." We are going to base our discussion of managing insecticides on a concentrate from this list called Riptide. It is the most available and popular natural pyrethrins formulation. Let's start by looking at the parts of the label that are specifically directed toward misting. As you are making a critical review of a pesticide label, make sure you find answers to the following questions. Which application equipment is allowed? In what areas can you make the application? Which pests can you target? Are there application areas that are explicitly forbidden by the label? How should you dose the concentrate, and what is the maximum concentration and application that you are allowed to make? What steps should you take to ensure the application is made safely? What steps should you take to ensure the application is effective? And what steps should you take to avoid contaminating the environment during application or during cleaning the application equipment? Let's briefly touch on each of these looking at the Riptide label. Application equipment and application areas. The language on the Riptide label reads, "For use in automatic ULV spraying systems in areas such as," and then it goes on to list a number of different areas including residential backyards and other listed indoor and outdoor areas. In that referenced part of the label, in addition to residential backyards, there are many areas listed such as outdoor eating establishments, athletic fields, and construction sites to name a few. With respect to target pests, the label identifies not only mosquitoes, but also flies, gnats, and wasps, among others. Forbidden applications. The Riptide label contains the phrase, "not registered for use in automatic ULV spraying systems in the state of New York." Dosing. The dosing language on Riptide has one sentence that describes the suggested rate and another sentence that lays out the maximum concentration you are allowed to apply. The sentence with the suggested rate reads, "Mix 1/2 gallon of concentrate in 55 gallons of water to yield a solution of 0.046% pyrethrins and 0.23% piperonil butoxide." In the second sentence, the words "up to" in "mix up to 1 gallon of concentrate in 55 gallons of water" suggest the label limit, which for Riptide is twice the normally suggested concentration. We're going to further explore dosing in the next video in the series. On the Riptide label, there are a number of statements that explain steps you must take to ensure the safety of the application. A couple of examples are, when filling the tank, partially fill the system reservoir tank with water, add concentrate, then fill rest of the tank with water. And lock the system reservoir tank and securely attach a legible copy of the label. It is important that you read and follow all of these steps. The Riptide label also contains recommendations to ensure the effectiveness of the application. One example is, since high water temperatures can degrade pyrethrins, it is recommended that system tanks be sheltered or insulated from direct exposure to the sun. Another is, for best performance, the spray solution should be in the pH range of 5.5 to 7. Finally, the Riptide label also contains some language cautioning against application near water or washing the application equipment out near water. Repeating for emphasis, the label is the law. It is extremely important that you only use insecticides that are labeled for use in automated misting systems, and that you read, understand, and comply strictly with the directions on the label. That's all for this video. In the next video, Intro to Insecticide Management, we'll go into some depth around dosing the insecticide and introduce a common mist schedule and talk about how the material is applied in the field.